Um, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, like I said, at the school I'm at, they do make a point of trying to be aware of students who've gone through trauma and all that. So I guess that's one thing where they sort of coach teachers and working with kids like that. I don't really know what expectations are on teachers, like in general, with mental health. I guess it's not something I've had a lot of experience with, like in schools. So.
Okay. Do you think parents have any expectations that teachers kind of deal with these issues in the classroom?
I'd say that parents who are, I'd say most parents who are like on top of their kid, if they're like going through some mental health thing, they'd probably expect the teacher to do what they can to help that kid learn in the classroom. And yeah.
Okay. What about mental health professionals? So you were referring earlier about specialists. So if you think of school counselors, school psychologists, or social workers, do you think they have any expectations of teachers?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's partly what they're there for, is to sort of help enable teachers to, teach all of their kids. So I'd say they have an expectation that teachers will maybe follow through with whatever advice they're given, or bring anything that's going on with the student to the attention of that specialist in question, maybe.
Okay. You mentioned something earlier in the interview about how it's kind of the responsibility of the teacher to provide a safe environment for the classroom, but it's not a legal responsibility. I don't know. I should have asked you before, but I don't know if you recall you saying something like that.
Well, what I mean is, like, I'm not entirely sure what like the exact job requirements of the teacher are.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I was
just
getting
mean that's. I certainly believe that's what a teacher should do. I'm just not sure if, like, when you become a teacher, if the contract says, you will create a safe, comfortable environment for all students. It probably does, but I don't know. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was what I was going to ask. Like, if you're aware of any standards or anything that address that.
No, I'm not particularly aware of any standards that address that.
Okay. All right. So thinking about the training that you've had in the teacher ed program, or like through professional development or anything, have you had any training in student mental health and, like, awareness of what the issues are and how to deal with them, things like that?
I haven't really had any training, I'd say. I guess the closest thing would be a class I took last semester that was about, like, including students, but I guess that was more focused on, like, disabilities than mental health, which I'm sure there's, like, some intersect, things like ADHD, for example, is something we talked about a lot. Well, I don't know if that would actually be under mental health, but, well, yeah, like I said, I'm not really super knowledgeable on the topic, but
fine.
No, I haven't had any specific training on how to work with students.
Okay, and that includes like professional development, even if it's outside of the teacher ed program.
No, not outside the teacher ed program.
All right. So imagine that you're teaching in a classroom. How confident do you think you'd be in dealing with mental health at this stage of your life?
I'd probably say I wouldn't feel very confident at this point. Probably just like my current lack of an extensive knowledge about these things. I guess, like, if I knew, like, what I specifically would do in certain situations, I'd feel more confident. Like, okay, if a student's acting this way, then I should then I know how I'm going to respond, or if I know that a specific student is going to be need certain things, then I'd be prepared to provide those things. So, like, I mean, if you just drop me as I am into a classroom, I don't think I'd feel very confident, but I hope that, like, if I have students who do have specific mental health issues, I will be prepared to work with them.
Okay. Do you think your confidence would kind of change based on the severity of the situation, or, like, what the actual problem is? Like, do you think you'd be more confident in dealing with certain situations more than others?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I guess just depending on the severity, like a less severe situation would probably be I'd probably feel more comfortable handling that than a more severe one. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's important for you to kind of get more, because you said you don't really have training.
Yeah.
in this area. Is that something that you see of value to get more training in, or like is that something that you aspire to, or is it just kind of like, I'll just kind of learn on the job?
Yeah, I guess it's something I'm not like actively seeking out right now, just
Okay.
being a student and just kind of focusing on getting classes done. But once I'm a teacher, I could see that being something I'd be interested in, especially if I have students who are like have certain mental health issues. Yeah, but I mean, right now it's not really something I'm specifically seeking out, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. My last two questions are kind of like shifting gears.
Yeah.
They relate to school violence. So what I mean by school violence, I mean violence that occurs within the context of the school, not like outside, directed towards the
Like
school.
students fighting, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or like school shootings and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
What do you see as the teacher's role in addressing school violence?
Well, I think teachers should be very dedicated to preventing violence in school. Like if that means in a really bad situation like a school shooter, they should, of course, do everything they can to protect their students. That's why we have like lockdown drills and everything. I guess in other situations, there's like students fighting. I guess that's a bit more iffy. Like talking about like certain teachers need to be like certified to put students in a hold and that kind of thing. But I'd say that teachers do have a strong responsibility to make sure that kids are physically safe, of course. So, yeah.
So what would that look like? Could the teacher do to prevent or provide a physically safe environment?
Like in any particular situation?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Just anything? Well, I guess... so you mean just like in general?
Yeah, just in general.
I guess I could say a teacher should value the physical safety of their students over their own, like if they have to somehow endanger themselves to protect students, no matter what that means, that's something they should probably be willing to do, I guess. That student safety should be the higher priority than teacher safety, maybe. It's a pretty broad area, so.
Yeah, that's no problem. All right, my last question is, so thinking about school violence, how do you think that, especially with the increase in the, school shootings and things like that, how do you see the teacher's role kind of being impacted in terms of addressing mental health? So, like, do you think the increase in school violence has kind of changed the role of a teacher in terms of addressing mental health?
Oh, yeah. I'd say it certainly made it more urgent, if I guess there's a student who in the worst case scenario would pose a threat to others. There's obviously big sense not just about that student's well-being, it's about the safety of others. So I'd say that is, so is the question like, has the teacher's role increased because of that?
Or like, I guess, I don't want to say expectation, but do you see that the teacher's role should change in terms of addressing mental health because of this increase in school violence? Or do you think there's even a relationship between the two?
I think there definitely is. I think anyone who does something that terrible, like carry out a school shooting or something, is obviously has super serious mental health issues, and they probably haven't been addressed if they're acting in that way and responding to things through violence. I think that does imply the teachers have a big responsibility to watch out for students going through really severe mental health issues, or any in general, but especially ones who might pose some threat to people, and make sure that those students would get the help they need like really quickly, so that they don't do anything bad.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Those are all my questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to add anything, if you have any questions for me.
I can't really think of anything.
Okay. Thanks. Let me just turn this over.